Welcome. In today's video, I interview Dr. Jason E. James, the Assistant Professor of Cybersecurity at Indiana State University, and the Chief Digital Forensic Investigator and Operations Manager for the Vigo County High-Tech Crime Unit. Jason discusses the university's unique degree program that incorporates hands-on learning using industry-leading software and hardware tools. In our interview, Jason discusses why he decided to incorporate forensic notes into Indiana State University's degree program, and also in the daily operations of the Vigo County High-Tech Crime Unit.
Can you maybe tell us a little bit more about yourself and your role at Indiana State University and your other roles that you're part of?
Sure. So my role at Indiana State University is I am, assistant professor of cybersecurity in the School of Criminology Security Studies. So I run our cyber program, which is, heavily weighted on digital forensics. So, so I teach, computer forensics, mobile forensics, advanced digital forensics, video forensics, teach all types of digital forensics to students. In addition, I got a grant last year and was awarded one of 10 high-tech crime units in the state of Indiana, partnered with the local prosecutor's office to run high-tech cybercrime for our county as well as 7 surrounding counties for local PD and sheriff's offices. And I have sworn students who are sworn investigators through the prosecutor's office that do that.
Just to give us a kind of a context, how many students are actually at Indiana State University within your program?
At Indiana State University, we have about 9,000. In our program, cyber, we have roughly 100. So there's 2 of us that teach in the cyber program in the school. We have, I think, 14 full-time faculty in our department, but only 2 of us teach the cyber program.
And you're saying that a large part of yours is more towards digital forensics and cell phone forensics and that nature?
It is. We have certain core requirements. One of those being the digital forensics track, where students have to take, initial digital forensics course, and then they have to take 2 to 3 courses in digital forensics, being computer forensics, mobile forensics, video forensics, and advanced digital forensics. So, and then the other aspect, they have to take, criminology classes as well as security and risk classes.
Oh, okay. So criminology and the legal aspects are a part of the program and kind of integrated with it.
We're housed within a criminology department.
Oh, that's interesting. That's a good way of going about to give them that that knowledge. And I think so many students that end up going to university don't necessarily have that legal knowledge, and so getting a job within industry and especially within law enforcement can be very challenging for them.
Yeah, so they have to take numerous criminology classes within the degree, in addition to digital forensics courses.
You are obviously facing some challenges that kind of made you look at a solution like forensic notes. Can you tell us about those challenges and why you look towards a solution?
A big part in digital forensics is not only acquisition and analysis, but reporting. And rather than relying on a typical Microsoft Office Word environment, we wanted to have something more geared towards the digital forensic realm. And that's where forensic notes, came in, because I noticed, in some of my searches, I've seen, a conference, and I see forensic notes, looked it up, and that's when I reached out to and realized that it was geared towards digital forensics and the way it's designed, the way that you use it. So that's what I wanted to teach my students, as well as what we use in our high-tech program.
Prior to forensic notes, you're using mostly Microsoft Word or pen and paper?
Yep, that's correct. No, Microsoft Word.
Okay. And what challenges or what concerns did you have with Microsoft Word that made you look towards a more forensic solution?
And it's not, it's just a general office application, so it's meant for writing and so forth, and not really digital forensic related. So it would have to be, designed to really fit our needs. And rather than doing that, coming across forensic notes was more feasible and usable.
So within the classroom, you've introduced forensic notes.
Yep.
What kind of challenges have you encountered with students within first your classroom, but then also within the partnership?
I haven't had too many challenges. I mean, the initial thing with students is just learning how it works. But after one or two class instructions, it's pretty simple and straightforward because it does work like a Microsoft Word. So you type something in, you hit save, you do an attachment. So there wasn't really too many challenges in teaching that to students. And those students that learn it in class are the same ones that already know how to use it that eventually get hired in high-tech crime units. They have that understanding. They don't have to be retaught, and so they're able to use forensic notes right off the bat.
And within the local agencies, you've introduced forensic notes to work within that partnership too, correct?
So, we use it and we share it with the local agencies. So they see the reports, they read everything in the forensic notes, but they don't use it because we do digital forensics for them. But every case we provide back to them, we put in the executive summary, which is in forensic notes.
And can you go into maybe just describing a little bit more about that partnership that you have with those local agencies? It's, from what I understand, it's students from Indiana State that are now working within these partnerships and helping do work for local agencies, correct?
Yeah, that's correct. So, the grant we were issued, we got funded to buy the appropriate software, hardware, and salaries for our students. And Indiana has 92 counties, so they awarded 10 high-tech crime units and divided up counties. So we have 8 counties that we are responsible for. So all law enforcement within those counties, come to us to do any type of digital forensics. So they used to rely on the Indiana State Police, but because of their backlog and their manpower, that's why Indiana, passed this law. So now the high-tech crime units are doing what Indiana State Police used to be doing, but in a much quicker and more efficient time frame.
So are you actually taking over all those investigations that the state used to do, or are you just kind of help supplementing the work that they were doing?
We're supplementing because the Indiana State Police have enough cases just of their own, alone taking on every agency across Indiana. So we supplemented that to help with the backlog and help to take away the workload that they have.
Now, with the students that are using it within the classroom, have you found that it's changed the way that they document their investigations from when they're using Microsoft Word, or do you find it more descriptive? Are they adding images, anything like that?
It's basically the same because I teach them to write, to describe everything, include the evidence, whether it be a screenshot or attachment. So, but the thing for me is it makes it much easier because, history-wise, I can see everything that they are doing.
Oh, okay.
Whenever they create something, whether it's in my class or the high-tech crime unit, I can see every case, submitted, and I can go in and look at it versus having to have separate Microsoft Word documents housed somewhere. It's a one-stop shop for me to be able to oversee and monitor.
With forensic notes, as you know, every note that gets entered is digitally signed and timestamped. So the time that it's entered in is within the documentation. So it's not something that the students can change or alter. So do you find that it reduces the concerns that maybe students are cooperating in handing in assignments or providing answers to each other, so that that the work that they're providing is genuine to their own work that they've done?
It does help in that aspect because, them, trying to copy or delete something, is all kept there. So it's an easy way to track it. So the timestamping is definitely beneficial in that aspect, but also, high-tech crime unit, timestamps and dates everything chronologically. So it definitely helps us out aspect as well.
Kind of replicates what Microsoft Word provides and the ability to add in images and, and write stuff in an electronic form. But obviously, there was a reason that it went even to Microsoft Word compared to having the students use pen and paper and notebook that like so many agencies still do. And what are the benefits of moving away from pen and paper notebooks?
I've never used pen and paper, so I don't. I mean, I'm an electronic guy, so I've never had. Even all my classes, I don't do pen and paper.
Especially within law enforcement, it gets drilled into you. So for those investigators that kind of have that law enforcement background and move into so many different digital forensics and cybercrime units, they're still using pen and paper for all their investigations and getting them to recognize the benefits of having electronic notes and screenshots.
For me, pen and paper, things get lost. You can lose things. When I do everything electronically, it's stored in one place. I know where it's at. I can recall it, later, history-wise. So electronic is much better in that aspect. You're not going to lose anything along the way.
Kind of look at the results that you've had. What positive outcomes have you seen from implementing forensic notes within your classroom first, and then also within your local agency partnerships?
Well, within the classroom, students learn how to document, cases the right way, as far as, time stamping, wording they need to do, the type of attachments, so it gets them introduced. And then with the high-tech crime unit, anytime I say forensic notes, all the law enforcement that, we serve, they know what forensic notes is, because that's how I refer to it when I say, look at your forensic notes report. So forensic notes is starting to get ingrained in all the law enforcement that, that we deal with. Now, if only I could get, across the state and all high-tech crime units to do it, but, for now, that's what's getting ingrained.
What advice would you give to others that are considering maybe implementing forensic notes within their classroom, within their coursework, or within their agency?
I would say forensic notes is a great tool. I've come across a lot of, not just in digital forensics, but software, in my time, and, forensic notes is one of the best out there in terms of, graphical user interface. It's relatively simple, easy to use. The owner is pretty responsive when you have issues, especially if there's something you need fixed in the software. It's designed for digital forensics. So, where something else, may be available, but, it's specifically for the field. So I suggest anyone try it. Forensic Notes has been a great, tool for us, and looking forward to being a partner moving forward, as well as maintaining our academic, teaching the students what they're going to actually, use in the field.